Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Metra AVTechTips Solutions. I'm your host, Adam Rogers, and I am by myself today because of course we don't have Brent here with me, my co-host. But today though, I did want to talk about something that one of our products that has to do with what we talked about this last Wednesday. Now, of course, this last Wednesday we talked about aspect ratios, and I'll be honest, it's a little bit of a reach because when it comes to aspect ratios, I don't have a specific product that has to do with aspect ratios directly, other than the fact that any of our HDMI cables or HDMI electronics will transmit pretty much every single aspect ratio out there, so long as it falls within the capabilities of either the 18 gig HDMI 2.0 or the HDMI 2.1, which is 48 gigs. So what I'm going to talk about today specifically is our CS-1X2HDMSPL5. This is our 1x4 HDMI splitter scaler. We're going to get into that here in just a quick second. However, I did want to say that you should be noticing right now that we are not in a standard 16:9 aspect ratio. We are actually in a 4:3 aspect ratio. So long as everything worked out correctly, you should see me in 4:3 right now on your screen. So just because we talked about aspect ratios, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that on today's episode. So again, you should see me in 4:3 instead of the normal 16:9. So let's go ahead and jump into this product here. We'll go ahead and do a top-down shot. This is the CS-1X2HDMSPL5. This is a 1x4 splitter. However, it also has scaling built into it directly. So let's go ahead and open up the box here. We'll talk about it. Now, this is an HDMI 2.0 device, and in the box here, we'll see right away we've got a instruction manual with it that tells you specifically how to use it. We have mounting brackets in there as well. And we have our power cord. This is just a 5-volt, 1-amp power supply. Go ahead and pull out the unit here. Take it out of its packaging. All right, so here is the CS-1X2HDMSPL5. We'll start here on the front of it. We have our LEDs here on the front, our input, our 4 outputs, and our power. We also have a switch here in the front. This is for mixed, auto, and copy. This is really important when it comes to the scaling capabilities of this machine. We'll talk about that here in a minute. There is a firmware update option here where you can plug in a USB cord to do a firmware update. There is not a firmware update as of the recording of this video. However, if something is necessary, you should be able to find that on our website. Here on the back of the unit, we have our 5-volt DC power input, HDMI 4, 3, 2, and 1 outputs, and then our HDMI input on that connection there. Now, what I wanted to talk about was specifically how we use the auto, mixed, and copy settings on this here for the scaling. So, if we use the mixed, this splitter will act as a traditional splitter, meaning that we use the highest common denominator. So if we have a 1080p display here, a 4K display here, and a 1080p display here, everyone is watching 1080p because we take the highest common denominator. Now, if we switch it over to auto, this has a canned EDID built directly into it that says that it is a 4K 60 display. So it will actually tell the source device, give me 4K 60 video. So that means now with that 1080p display here, the 4K here, and the 1080p display here, everyone is watching the highest resolution that they can watch, 1080p, 1080p, and 4K. So it automatically scales for that display. Lastly is our copy. Now on this one here, copy is really important also because if we have certain EDID problems, on the back of it, we can have a TV plugged into HDMI out 1. With HDMI out 1, this will copy the EDID of whatever display is plugged into HDMI out 1 and send that EDID back to the source device while still doing all the scaling capabilities over here. So let's say, for instance, this one is a 4K HDR display. This will allow us to take that 4K HDR EDID, send it back to the source to get that content. Then from there, we can scale down the resolution to the other displays. So we can say, here's a 4K non-HDR, here's a 1080p non-HDR, and another 1080p non-HDR. And everybody is watching the highest capability that they can. So this is the CS-4X2HDMSPL5. It's available now. Reach out to your sales rep and or your distributor to find out about pricing. I'm your host, Adam. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. Our phone number is 386-492-8584. And hopefully this episode has been inspiring to you to be able to use this device. And as always, we'll see you next time.